I would like to thank to the HSRA for the opportunity given to me to present my paper at the third Athens Forum, International Conference on Social Science and Humanities, September 15 till 16, 2020. My paper with the title Integration of Local Wisdom Institution in the Village Government System in Indonesia in effort to prevent corruption. Introduction. In Indonesia, corruption is not only a problem of government at the top level, but has spread to the lowest level of government. We call desa or nagari. Based on data released by International Corruption Watch from 2015 to 2020, there were 676 village devices that were accused of village-found corruption cases. This reality shows the decline in Indonesian corruption perspective index rating is not identical to the decline in corruption case in the village government. In addition, corruption in the village government requires special attention that from the legal side will not appear specific, but if observed, the causal factor will appear to be a gap between corruption in the village government and corruption at the top level of government. Looking at corruption cases in the village government, the narrow legal approach is not entirely reliable to prevent corruption in the village government. In addition to government administration factors, there are a number of factors that cause corruption in the village government, including the lack of supervisory function in the village that can play a role in preventing corruption. Limited access of citizens to information. For example, the village budget that makes citizens not encouraged to actively participate in supervision as an important aspect in the prevention of corruption. On the other hand, corruption in the village government show complex symptoms. Institutional problems and institutional structures of the village have not been a concern for policy makers and anti-corruption programs. In fact, this factor is very important considering the characteristics of the village and its government are different from the level of government at the top level. Result and discussion. Based on analysis of number of cases of corruption in the village government in Indonesia, one of the drivers is the low participation of citizens in the perspective of supervision of the implementation in village government. Now the other reason, the low participation of the community is derived from the institutional models of village government whose characteristics have changed from their original characteristics. The institution of government of the village now, in addition to being administrative of bureaucratic, as well as showing its character as an extension of the upper level government, especially in the perspective public service. That reality is contrary to the character of the village government and its original arrangement, where the village, for other names such as a nagari in West Sumatra, is not only as a unit of administrative unity, like nagari in West Sumatra, for example. Nagari or village in its original arrangement is also as a socio-cultural unity, economic unity, and security unity. From the analysis of the regulation governing village government, found that there is a policy tendency of the village government system to put aside some pillars or local wisdom that were actually owned by the village in the past. Today, village government organizations are more formal and administrative. Even more than that, there is a firm separation between the position between the formal government institution of the village and the institution of local wisdom or adat. And between the two institutions, there is no organizational working relationship, and of course, has an impact on community participation in supervising the implementation of village government. In addition, the institutional situation does provide space for corruption in the village government environment. The institutional reality of village government estate, the application of the concept of prevention of corruption is generally ineffective in the village government. In addition to the community-based village government, corruption occurs because of a person's internal impulses, so that corruption is inseparable from moral matters and social system. It is in the perspective that local wisdom becomes the fundamental side in effort to prevent corruption in the village, where anti-corruption values have long existed and grown in the lives of village and institutionalized. From corruption case involving officials and staff of village government in Indonesia shows that the effort to crack down on corruption cases are not fully able to reduce the rate of corruption cases. Then, the values of local wisdom are not explicitly used in the administration of village government. Likewise, with institutional aspect, villages that have local wisdom institutions such as Nagari customary density, or we call it KAN in West Sumatra, do not have working relationship or organizational relationship with the formal village government institution. Research data shows that the occurrence of corruption in the village government is almost always related by transparency and lack of public access to village budget. This also shows the need for institutional arrangement of villages as the lowest level of government in Indonesia as unitary legal community. Conclusion: corruption at the lowest level of government, or desa, in Indonesia is not merely a matter of ability in villages' financial management or a matter of limitation in understanding government administration, but cannot be separated from the institutional arrangement in the village. Effort to prevent corruption in village government in Indonesia will be more effective by integrating local wisdom institution into one village government system that at least as an effort to provide participation space for villagers in supervisory perspective by optimizing the local wisdom they have, and can even be optimized in wider scope. Thank you to the conference participants who listened to my presentation.